Hey, welcome back to Five Ways Garage. Today we're actually going to start on finishing up the front bumper on the 2019 Toyota Tacoma. Now I just got it waxed, I just got a clay bar, so she is looking mint, except for the dings I put in the back corner, but that's okay. We're going to worry about that on another day. Today we're going to take the winch mount that's sitting right behind this little cover and build off of it. We want to go ahead and make a bumper that will encase all this black piece right here and make it out of steel with some D-rings and all kinds of other goodness. Alright, so we got some 3/16 plate, we got some 10 gauge plate, we got some 1/2 inch plate, we got some plate. Most of it's all scrap from other projects, but we're going to reuse them for this bumper. I'm not gonna try to ramble too much on this one, which I already have. But we're gonna go ahead and get this black cover off the front bumper. So let's get this guy off. If you want to know how to disconnect everything the right way, check out the other video when we actually mounted this Zeke 10,000 pound winch underneath and mounted it to the frame. So now what we want to do is build a quick little box here for the fairlead to bring it out to be even with this front stop here. So I'm gonna go grab a tape measure and let's go ahead and start with that, because then once we get that one done, then we can actually build the rest. I might get some tape out to tape up some of the finish and some of the body work, just so we don't ding it up, because that would suck, or put welding splatter on it. Anyway, tape measure, let's get a plan. All right, I think I got well, sort of a plan. So, put the fascia back on. I took the winch out so I don't destroy it and mess it up, because I got to weld all this around. But what I did was actually, because the front fascia comes way out here, so I just built a little box, and that should be strong. I was going to put another plate around the front. I was going to hold the fairlead. Now, I think what I'm going to have to do, because if I build all this around, I won't be able to get the whole winch plate out. So what I'm going to do is actually build this in two pieces. So I'm going to put a nice thick plate, some 3/16 right across here, and then drill the holes for the fairlead. And then I'm going to have some more holes over here for some grade 8 bolts. And what we'll do is actually have a face that comes on there, and those get bolted in, and then it gets bolted here. So then it will be all one big structural piece. Oh man, and I think I'll use the D-rings sticking out in order to you know, align everything up so I can put the bolts through. Yeah. Just think of a whole new winch plate right there. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of them, like they'll have them way down here on a slant, which I never really like that. Much rather get pulled from the straight front. Yeah. But anyway, so I'll probably just put a gusset right here to make sure this does not go anywhere. I do like my gussets. And first, let's take it off, because I don't want to be welding on the truck, because I just waxed it. I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, it's a plan. What we gotta do now is make it a reality. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's weld it in. All right, I think I got some things figured out. Is it gonna work? I don't know. Is it better than what you can buy? I don't know. Probably not, because I'm thinking my welder's having some issues, or it's me. Could be me. So Lincoln, again, hey, give me a call. So this is gonna sit right here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and replicate it on this side, so that it'll look on this side, and then when I see you again, hopefully both of them be up there, everything will be solid. I'll grind down some of the nasty welds so you don't make fun of me too bad, because some of them are pretty nasty. One thing I'll mention again later, but make sure you drill holes underneath. Like I made this little box, water's gonna get in there, it's gonna start rusting. Drill your holes, put some weld through primer, all that type of stuff in there so that it does not rust, because you don't want it to rust. Now if you can get it powder coated, that's even better. But yeah, here's your plate. It's gonna go over here, cut a little notch for the D-ring holder thing so that I can just slide it right above it, and should be good. Just gotta cut my holes, build my plate, and go like here, and then here, and then bam, and then bam. All right, stay tuned. Hey, we're back on the bumper project. It has been a minute, but other things get in the way, such as, yeah, that's another project that kind of got in the way that wasn't exactly planned, but hey, it turned out that way. Anyway, so this is what we have so far with the front bumper. Took everything back off. I put the bumper back in that we made before, and now I'm just trying to put in some face pieces. So I'll put some tape all around here. Just I don't want to mess with the plastic because I was doing some welding on it. Always do at least 2 to 3 layers of tape unless you have like actual welding tape. So basically I started with one sheet of this guy. So I started with one sheet here and I bolted it up there. I drilled my holes. I still got to cut this section out, but I can do that here in a minute. Anyway, so I cut some holes, bolted that up there, and then I added that piece, just did a butt weld right here. And then this section here, I got my old CAD drawing out, and I think it was some Honey Bunches of Oats, or the generic brand. Anyway, so I cut it out, placed it up here on top, seemed to fit okay. And then I grabbed some skinnier ones. Now I grabbed this guy, transferred it over here, hit it with the plasma, cut it off, and now she is welded up here. Did the same thing on here. It's pretty much mirrored on both sides. So cut out little sections here. So if I take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts, this whole thing should be able to come off in theory if I designed it right. So where we're at right now is that we need to get the control box to sit right here. Right here. Take that, you know, right here. So the control box, I want to sit right here because this is where the emblem goes for the grill. So I made a little plate, which looks like this, that I will just make a mount for this and then stick that right on top, and then I'll have to remake some wires. I'm gonna go make a bracket, bolt it up here, make it sturdy, and should be ready to go. All right, give me a few minutes. That, and I gotta watch football anyway. Cowboys won. All right, so I have the module in, and as you can see, you cannot see it. You can see a little bit right there. I still got to trim that off because I kind of made a mistake, and you know, that happens. But anyway, there's my module. I should have enough room to be able to get the wires out of the back all the way down and into the winch. So I might need to relocate this little bracket here with the wire just to give me a little more room. But other than that, I think it looked pretty good. So if I need to do manual stuff, I can just pop the hood, put my hook up right there, bam, and we should be good to go. It does rock a little bit, but I think it'll be all right. Yeah, if I don't like it, I'll put another bracket on. But anyway, let's keep going. It looks like I might need to pull it all off, put the winch in so I can run the wires. I'm about to run out of welding gas, so this might be what I get for right now. But I also need to cut this section out. Might do that tonight, paint it, and come back tomorrow and finish it up. All right, so we got the main structure stuff back onto the truck. Went ahead and installed the winch, as you can see. And before we actually put everything else on there and the front cover and finish that off, I wanted to get the wiring done. So once I actually do put the front cover on, I won't have to take this off again. And not only that, I'm running out of time. It's a story of my life. Anyway, so I made this quick bracket. I did mess up, made it too short, so I had to weld. I just butt welded another piece and drilled holes, and then I got it wrong. And then I drilled more holes, and I just put a little bit of gusset here, and guess what? That was on the wrong side. That was the reason why my holes did not line up. So, fun. And all I did was drill 2 holes into my core support here. Nothing huge, but this will go onto here, and my cover, or the module, will sit right here, which is perfectly in line with the front emblem, so you do not see it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the cover up here so that I can figure out length, because I need to extend my wires all the way down to the winch itself. All right, once I figure all that out, I'll make some lines. I'll show you how I did it, and I'll show you my crimper, because it's awesome, in case you missed all the other videos, because that's an awesome crimper. Anyway, I'm gonna figure it out and turn on some fans. It's hot. All right, So I got everything in, everything was going great until I ran into this little short guy. And it's only, the rest of them are pretty decent. I can probably get away with it. This guy here is about 3 inches too short. So what I've actually done was actually take the ground wire that was supposed to go to the ground and made it a little bit longer. Now I just need to transfer all the connections over from this over to this and then crimp on a terminal. What are we going to use? This bad boy. I do recommend actually going and get one of these. Not this particular one. This one I think came from Harbor Freight or something like that. But what it does is actually take a die and crimp whatever you need with hydraulic pressure. There's a lot of them out there that you can hit with a hammer. They work okay. I prefer this one. So it does come with a bunch of dies. I have a number 10 in here. You can look at your sheet, figure out which ones you need. So this guy here is a way to go for not writing it up there. We could probably guesstimate what size that is. Alright. So the other thing you're going to need will be some new crimps. Now these guys here, I just bought a whole kit. Highly recommend getting a whole kit. And what this is going to do for you is give you heat shrink, the decent stuff, and give you a bunch of terminals. Now some of them have big ends, some have little ends, some have for big hunking wires, some for little baby wires. So anyway, I'm going to grab one of these that actually fit and let you know which one I'm going to do. Be right back once I get everything set up. I don't want to waste any more. Alright, figured it out. So I went ahead and stripped it back just a little bit, and I actually put one up there. There's about a 4-gauge wire. I looked on my sheet, and right here, 4-gauge wire is number 25 dies. So I'm going to take the ones that I have out of here, which was a 10. I'm not sure what I was doing with that one, but hey, that's what was in there. I'm going to put my 25s in there, close the hammer. There you go. Close the hammer. Looks like that. So now, a couple things. Make sure all your stuff is on that you're actually going to need. I can actually put that over the connector. It's not a huge deal. Also, don't forget your heat shrink. You gotta have it. So we're going to stick this guy in. And then close the breech. And then we're just going to jack it. There you go. Nice, beautiful crimp. Not going to get that off. Once again, don't forget your heat shrink. And of course, I don't have my torch. It's upstairs. Highly recommend if you're going to do any kind of battery terminals or any large connections, just like this one. There you go. Ain't she pretty? That's pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. So as you can see, I have it hooked up to the battery. Inside there is the transformer. Like I said, I do like the plastic case. I'll give you credit for that one. Also connect directly to the battery on the negative side. It gets curled up. It comes down. It's not touching anywhere on that metal, but I do want to get a grommet that actually will fit that. I got nothing that darn big. And not only that, it's an odd shape. It's an odd size. I'm gonna have to do some research, see what I can come up with. Anyway, I have it run down the core support. It is tie wrapped, all nice and, well, I say neat. And then it comes over here to the back of the controller down to the actual winch itself. Now I did have to remake this guy here because it was just a little bit too short, but the rest of them seem to actually fit. Now one thing I would have to say though, every time it comes in contact with any piece of metal or any piece of plastic or anything that could rub in there, put a tie wrap on it at least. If not, try to get it away. You don't want it to be rubbing on there, constant bouncing and stuff like that, and cause an issue. But I did have to massage, I don't know if you can see it right here, I had to massage this core support, just hit it with a hammer a few times because it was rubbing against that wire, and I do not want that because obviously that will cause a short. Don't want that. Massage it in, not touching. There's a little bit of clearance around it. I think we should be in good shape. One thing I did realize that I want to do in the future, not sure when that would be, but I want to put a breaker up here, like a circuit breaker or something like that. The transformer should do the trick, but just in case there's a short anywhere in the line, I really don't want that wire to burn. So, all right, so the wireless will not work, but let's check out the wired. Put that in there. All right, ready? Out. Bam. In. Bam. Oh my gosh, I wired it correctly. Now, wiring this thing up, I did have to use the instruction booklet and also a bunch of pictures that I took before I actually took everything apart. But I think we are ready for the front fascia. I have the bumper upstairs. It's been painted. I still need to add a bunch more pieces on there, but I am simply running out of time and I'm running out of welding gas. Hopefully this is the last time of taking the fascia off. Everything on here is permanent. I've already torqued down all my bolts. Everything's in there securely. My mount is pretty strong. I think we're in good shape. I'm going to put everything back together. Don't have the other one completely finished, but it'll be work in progress, and at least I will have some sort of protection up here for when I'm out wheeling. Anyway, let me get everything put on, show you what the somewhat finished product will look like. Oh no. All right, another day again. Just keep running out of time. But this is what we got so far. So I went ahead and tacked on some plate underneath. That's gonna be a little bit of a skid pan. Kind of put a couple pieces together here. Got a little bit of a gap here, but that's all right. Try to keep it away from the body a little bit. I need to put some sort of structure from the actual winch plate down just to keep it from crushing in. I don't think that'll be too much of an issue, but I think what we need to do now is actually take all the bolts off, which would be off, 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 off. Pull this whole thing off, weld all this up properly, grind it down, weld it again, grind it down, weld in the holes, and do that a few times just to make it look halfway decent. I got plans for this weekend, so I need to have this thing done. Well, at least done enough to where I can put it on there, and maybe I'll finish the finishing touches later. But that'll be on a different video. This thing is getting way too long, and I need to get this thing done. So before we actually take all this stuff up here, I do recommend go through, check your gaps. Like right here, I'm a little bit close. So I put a little bit of a marker where I need to trim that. So as I weld it and grind it, I will trim that off. Now, the hardest thing to do with this thing here is that if you go start from the center and you work your way to right and then you go to left, you want to try to make it somewhat symmetrical. I'm close, but I'm a quarter an inch off between the left and the right. Not exactly sure how that happened, but it happened. Also, if you want to take a look, can't really see if you get down below, you can see it, but that's the controller. It's kind of right behind here. I do see my red cable back there, so I might actually paint that black so that you don't see it. But yeah, I can reach my free spool. I can hook up the manual box if I need to. Still got to fix the other one. Haven't got a chance to get batteries for that yet. But anyway, stay tuned. Let me get this thing off and start welding and grinding. Lots to do. I still got that guy to do. All right, so the bumper's almost ready, at least for now. Phase 2, 3, whatever it is right now. The final cosmetic stuff, I'm gonna wait till a little bit later because I am just out of time. That, and I got other projects that need some loving too. But I'm gonna make it functional. I'm gonna put it up there. But I kind of wanna, protect the paint a little bit more just in case. We took a little bit of structure out of the plastic, so it kind of flaps just a little bit. Later on, I do plan on putting some back in. I just have to figure that out. But for now, what I'm going to do is actually take some vacuum hose, cut it in half, and then put it around it so that it's rubber on paint rather than steel on paint, which will just destroy it. So, but I got to cut it in half. And the best way to actually cut it is make yourself a rig like this. All right, what we have is a basic 2x4. I drilled a hole through it, cut it kind of close, and stuck a razor blade in it. Use the hammer, kind of tap it in so it doesn't fall out, and then run it through. So what you're gonna get at the end is a hose that is cut in half. All right, quick and easy. Make it yourself. You can reuse your blade, reuse the piece of wood, whatever you got. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing set up so you can actually put it on, and let me know what you think. I don't know, this is my first one. Hey, you know the sun's out? Holy crap, I'm gonna have to move. Anyway, so I got my vacuum hose and I have my bumper. As you can see, I still got a little bit more work to do. I got a little gaping hole right here, and I got so tired of the welder cutting out. I said, all right, I'm just gonna do it later. I just painted it. As you can see from back, it's just a bunch of panels. Some of the complex corners, just take it small. do a small section, weld that in, go to the next section. I would have to say bending this stuff is a whole lot different than a regular sheet metal. It is a lot of beef. What you need is a block of wood, a big old hammer, and a really good vise. And you can actually get some of the bends and some of the curves. The rest of it is just straight, which is what we're gonna do for right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my hose on there to try to protect it. All right, there you go. Let's get it on the truck. All right, actually, before we actually put it on the truck, I got a confession to make. I did a lot of this work off camera. It takes a really long time to actually get something like this done, especially when you don't have any big tools. I got a couple grinders. I do have a plasma cutter, which is beautiful. If I had a plasma table, this would take like half the time. I don't have those type of things, but I do have ambition, ingenuity, and a little bit of imagination. So I'm gonna put all that up and chalk it as a win. But would I do this again? Maybe for a rear bumper, but that might be it. That was a lot of work. Holy crap. I'm gonna try to do a full analysis later on how much I actually spent for it. I do know that the plate underneath was like 40 bucks. A lot of the material I just had laying around. It was an old network rack. That worked out great. Other than that, it's just consumables. Grinding discs, welding gas, which apparently nobody has. I had to go all the way, like almost an hour away just to get welding gas because nobody has them around. So, what did I do off camera? Well, I gave it a diet. All these little pucks, all I did was take a washer, stuck it down there, and then hit it with the plasma and just did circles in certain areas. Now it does not hurt the strength of this thing, but it did help the weight a little bit. Probably this right here is about 2.5 pounds, which doesn't sound like much, but when you got the whole weight of everything, it's kind of a lot. Anyway, all right. Speaking of weight, I just weighed this section here. With the winch and everything of that, the first section is about 46 pounds. This right here is 25 pounds. So we're looking at a little more than 70 pounds for the entire package. That is not that bad. Some of these things are just beef, like you're gonna run into a dinosaur. And those are great, but I'm trying to keep some weight off, but still trying to protect it just a little bit. Actually, I just wanted a winch. Anyway, let's put it in. All right, everything is in. Everything is nice and tight. One thing of advice, don't just use the impact thing. Go ahead and take a wrench and actually really tighten them down, because you do not want this thing to fall off. Now, I have to say I'm pretty pleased with it so far. There is a lot more work to be done. I still have gaps right here that I need to put a little piece of metal in. I got the big gaping hole in the bottom. I need to put some extra support underneath, so if I hit something really hard, it's not going to just bend all to pieces like the factory stuff. I'm just gonna do that at another time. I want to get it a little bit closer on the backside, but hey, a BFH will handle that right nicely. Anyway, but let's see, do we achieve our goal? Well, we have a winch, check. We have a bumper that's pretty darn sturdy, check. Everything's accessible. I can reach, I had to open up the hood though, but I can reach the free spool and also hit. Anyway, so I do have a, you have to reach in, I can grab the free spool, I can hook up the manual up in and out. The controller one I still got to look at. I don't know, I'll pick up some batteries, we'll figure it out. But yeah, all right, tell me what you think. Should I keep it like this? The best thing, the reason why I wanted to design my own is because there's zero cutting. I didn't cut anything out. I can put it right back to stock if I really wanted to. I don't think I want to, but I could. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of plain. Yeah. Could we do something a little bit better if I had the right tools? Probably. Would it take a lot shorter? Oh yeah. And if I do it again? which probably won't happen anytime real soon. I might design it a little bit differently. I don't know. That's what we get to do. That's why we do things by hand, by ourselves, so we can learn and take pride in it. This is a conversational piece. Oh man, where'd you get that bumper? I made it. Check out all the other stuff that we already have online. I'm hoping this weekend I can get out there to Uwharrie and maybe we'll test out this winch. We got a couple other people going. We'll see if they get stuck. Maybe I'll pull them off. Maybe I'll get stuck. I don't know. But yeah, Zeke, 10,000 pound winch installed, ready to go with a bumper that not going to hurt it if I bump into something, I don't think. Anyway, take it easy, have fun, and keep building. Now it's on to the next project. I got a winch. Woo!